All right, guys, let me know. Come on. Let me know where. Sorry, let me know how I sound. Excuse me. I was like, damn it, I just left my iPad like on the other side of the room. Anyway, not important. Not important at all. All right. So, Jeep Girl, thank you for the 5x5. Flown Girl, thank you for the 5x5. Okay. Southern Tier Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Yes, Chris H, this is live. And it is we are all going to die Wednesday. That is later tonight on Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival's channel. He has the Wednesday we're all gonna die. I think he also had something like Mayhem Tuesdays or Mayhem Mondays, something like that. It was something to that. Steel City, Winter Homestead, Chris H, Bucky, thank you for the 5x5. Ted, thank you for the Spam by Coffee. Lisa, Richard, thank you for the 5x5. Gary, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it, guys. All right. So let's jump into it. So tonight we're going to have a doubleheader as well. There's going to be the Angry Truth and the Angry Prepper later tonight. Like I said, I shifted everything over because I'm working tomorrow night and Friday night. So being that I couldn't get out of that, it is what it is. Tony Wright, thank you for the 5x5. All right, so let's get into the show. Oh, shit. Wrong day. All right, guys. So interesting, obviously, things have been going on. I've been catching a lot of news that's not been widely publicized on Reddit. So I go to Reddit for a lot of the information that's just not being pushed out there. I guess it was brought to my attention after the live stream. Actually, on Twitter, it was brought to my attention that the whole surround the White House, there was barely any media coverage on it. There might have been afterwards, but I didn't see a lot of cameras there, but I didn't see anything in the news when I got home. So, interesting that they didn't cover that. There was not a big to-do, but Monday night, there was a rage in New York or something like that, and it was downtown by Wall Street. They had a little protest there going on. Again, not a lot of media coverage. And I think, guys, a lot of the people are not covering it on the news because they're tired. They're just everybody's tired with the protesting and the crying and the carrying on. So what I think might start happening is they might start turning up the protesting with different. You'll see, with different agitators and things getting a little worse. But again, that's just my conspiracy theory, because no one's covering it anymore. I think everybody's just tired. Everybody's like, yo, this is stupid. Who cares? You people are going to cry all day and do nothing about it. You guys are going to constantly bitch and moan. Meanwhile, you should be bitching and moaning about gay rights in countries. Mira, that would have been my assumption as well. But they were covering it when they first started. I think people are just protest fatigued, if that makes sense, right? If that makes a lot of sense. Because at first they were covering left and right. Now they're just like, they don't want to hear about it. Nobody cares. Media's keeping it from us because it's going to start chaos. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that kind of protesting is going to start chaos. They're not doing anything. They're waving their flags. They're screaming and yelling at the cops for like no apparent reason. They went to Wall Street to shut it down. Nothing was shut down. And then they went to Wall Street like after hours too. On top of that, like it was like 6 o'clock when they got there. They started. I'm like, Wall Street closes at like 3 or 4 o'clock, right? So a whole 2-3 hours later, you get down there for what? So it was bullshit. Again, I don't see much of a problem. Excuse me. I think when things start getting violent, I think when things start getting bad, then they'll start covering it. Right now, guys, there's just other things to cover, like Hunter Biden, being found on all charges. That was predictable as shit. I've never seen a more predictable outcome like Trump's. I've never seen a more predictable outcome. With Biden being found guilty on all charges, with them even bringing him into the courtroom was a tactic. That's all it was. It was like, well, if we bringing Trump in for BS, we have to do something with Hunter Biden. We have to, and they did, right? So that's all it was. It was just a tactic. They're gonna give him a slap on the wrist as well. Nothing crazy. Trump looks like he's going to have a parole officer, not a parole officer, a probation officer. Sorry, there is a difference between parole and probation officer. He's going to see a probation officer. They already met. I think they met Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So Trump's getting probation. That's all they can do. All of this, guys, is just a show. All of it. Whatever. The whole Mr. 19, the bird frenzy, that is all a show. I could see the bird frenzy getting out of hand. If we start watching people drop like flies, that's an entirely different ball game. But again, a video I'm releasing later today on scare tactics and how they're going, not how, but how bad it's going to get. As far as how, I think we're going to see the same thing as Mr. 19, I think just turned up a little longer. Turned up and a little longer, sorry. I think that's definitely what we're going to see. But let's get to the news that a lot of us might have missed. So six suspected terrorists with ISIS ties arrested in a sting operation in New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia has been on the radar lately for a lot of terror activities. I find that very interesting. Some people will argue that they've been on it for a while, but in the last year or two, I've been seeing Philadelphia on the list of terror activities for a while. Two ICE sources confirmed to the Post they arrested 6 people who hail from Tajikistan? Tajikistan. I never heard of that. Tajikistan. Over the last week after FBI contacted the agency to warn them. 2 others who were a part of the same group were also arrested after being under surveillance for several months by multi-agency joint task force. This is according to the NBC News. Part of the investigation featured a wiretap which revealed one of the now arrested individuals was talking about devices. You know what kind of devices I mean? All right? Bombs. All right? Bombs. So we're talking about bombs. All right. Remember the Boston Marathon event? I'm afraid something like that might happen again or worse. This is one of the sources. Now, one of the sources is normally an inside guy. What you call it? Not a rat, but not a CI, but an undercover agent. The target, who was subjected to the wiretap, was previously released by federal authorities at the southern border with a court date next year, but it has since emerged that he has potential ties to ISIS. In a joint statement, the Department of Homeland Security and FBI told the Post, over the last few days, ICE agents arrested several non-citizens. Just call them illegal immigrants. It's so much easier than calling them non-citizens. Pursuant to immigration authorities. Now, what was it they were calling? They didn't want to call them illegals. They wanted to call them migrants. Now they're calling them non-citizens. I don't understand why they keep changing the terminology. Is it making them feel better? Is it making them feel better? I don't know. Are migrants getting their feelings hurt by calling them illegal immigrants? You know, like it's crazy. I tell you guys, we got to get back to the old school. People like, we don't like being called migrants now. It's harmful. Could you call us non-citizens? And then we call them non-citizens for a few years, and then we don't like that term either. Can you just label us people that don't live in this country? Like, how far is this going to go? Invaders is better. I like that. Invaders is a lot better. Right to the point, right? But it doesn't matter, guys. Whatever you call them, it hurts their feelings. It's always hurt their feelings. Eastern Tennessee preparedness. What's going on, man? I feel like I haven't seen you on here in a while. But what's going on? Google censorship. That makes a lot of sense. He says that's what happens when you live your life by your emotions and desires. That's why they change terms. Right, because they're sensitive fucking, women. People just like, oh, don't call them retards. Call them special needs. Now there's a new term. I forgot what it was, but not special needs anymore because that's offensive. And it's always the liberal parents. Because I'll tell you right now, the tards don't care. They're like, they're trying to get to work to their Walmart job and try to remember their line. Hello, welcome to Walmart. They're trying to remember shit like that on a daily basis. They're not worried about somebody calling them a tard or retarded. Or they don't care. They don't care. They just want to live their life, make a paycheck, and go to work. That's all they care about. But their parents, on the other hand, they're the ones making the argument. Midgets. Midgets have been called midgets forever. Forever. And all of a sudden, you can't call them midgets. And they're midgets who do not give a shit. They're like, call me a midget. I don't care. That's what I am. I'm a little dude. But when you have a generation of people growing up to be this sensitive, they want to change the vernacular for everything. Everything. So, yeah. This is just always getting out of hand. Manilow says Hunter Biden will not be jailed. He probably won't be. All right. Where are we? The actions were carried out in close coordination with the FBI's Joint Terrorist Task Force. The individuals arrested are detained in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. The FBI and DHS will continue working around the clock with our partners to identify, investigate, and disrupt potential threats to national security. The targets had all crossed the southern border and initial vetting by federal authorities didn't turn up any negative information ties to their names. At least 2 of the men had crossed into the United States in spring of 2023, and one had used the CBP, the CBP app to enter the country. No shit. The arrest came after warning from FBI Director Chris Wray about possible ISIS terrorist plots being staged in the United States, on the United States soil, and the group's potential for exploiting the southern border. In April, a lot of us remember, Wray warned lawmakers that a possible coordinated attack could take place in the United States following the ISIS-K attack on a concert hall in Moscow carried out by citizens of Turkestan. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. That killed 145 people and wounded hundreds other. Now, Christopher Wray might be onto something, though a lot of us don't trust him. There's a part of me that thinks he's actually in it for the people. Because there has been things he has said that he did not need to say, and he's brought to the attention. He could have kept this quiet, but he didn't. So there is a side of me that likes to believe he is for the people, but there's also a side of me that knows he is with the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum. Or at least he's trying to get into their good graces. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Manilow is not an American. He is a troll from Russia. Thank you. But anyway, let's see. I hate when I lose my place. I need glasses. All day yesterday, it was like today my eyes are good, but yesterday I couldn't see a fucking thing. Everything I was reading was out to here, and I'm like, but like today it's fine. So maybe I got to up a vitamin or something, because normally when the eyes get bad, I mean, I don't know, aren't they supposed to stay that way? They don't fluctuate from day to day, but my eyesight's been fluctuating from day to day. So whatever. I eventually, when I can't see shit or I can't see who I'm talking to, then maybe I'll get my glasses. I don't know. Anyway, Let's see. Most of our immediate concern has been that individuals from small groups will draw twisted inspiration from events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here on American soil. But now, increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homelands, akin to the ISIS-K attack we saw in Russia concert a couple of weeks ago. Was that a couple of weeks ago? Was that like a couple months ago? Same difference, I guess. ISIS-K stands for Islamic State Khorasan, referencing a region which includes part of Iran, Turkmenistan. What is it with these fucking stands? I never heard of this place. Turkmenistan and Afghanistan. It is an extreme offshoot of the Islamic State militant group founded in 2014. Anyway, although the group had previously concentrated its efforts in Russia, multiple Western leaders have warned of its abilities to launch attacks in Europe and America. Just a month before Ray testified about the Bureau's fear, he shared his concerns with the Senate Intelligence Committee about a human smuggling operation at the southern border with ties to terrorist groups affiliated with ISIS. Sorry. I'm not going to read this whole article. This fucking article is way too long to be reading right now. But just know that they have stopped and or foiled some bullshit. So now, let's see. Now they said a couple of these guys that they arrested were from Russia, but they didn't say they were Russian. So I found that to be interesting. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So, yeah. They shit, now I'm lagging behind. Anyway. All right, so moving right along. Matt, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Anyway, so moving right along, guys. Basically, borders unprotected. More and more people are coming across. They are catching terrorist suspects. These guys came across a year ago. They've been following them since then. So that seems to be obviously, it's going to be a continuous problem. Now, as long as these stories keep coming out, Biden's campaign is going to continue to take a downturn. Now, two things can happen. One can be they slow down the border crossings and help his campaign flourish, which it won't. At this point, Biden's done. There's no way Biden can have any effect in the election. But second thing that can happen is something grand, an attack that we've never seen before can happen, and it could stem from the border, and that can throw the election in a spiral if it's big enough to constitute martial law, which I don't see that happening, but I'm putting it out there because, again, as a conspiracy theorist, this is what we do. We come up with weird fucking stories, and that can be an issue. That can be something down the line. I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah. Do we have an Israeli troll here? We probably do. It's been 110 in Tucson. Oh, keep that shit, Laura. And keep that shit down there. Yeah. But anyway. So, we have a fun, sexually transmitted fungus circulating here in New York City. I say it's fun because guess who's spreading it? Give you one fucking guess. They're the same group of people in charge for the monkeypox, or as they're calling it, M-pox, because now the M no longer means monkey. Whatever, mutated pox, or whatever the hell they're calling it. So, of course, guys, yet again, these group of men are running around and rubbing their dicks on each other's faces. Okay. All right. So, a new sexually transmitted fungal infection detected in New York City, the first case in the United States. Now, this disease, as I'm going to call it TMV2 or 7, TM7, sorry. Because I think that's the Roman numeral for 7. It says, it's called, I'm not even going to play myself, but just call it TM7. Look it up. The health experts are warning of a new and highly contagious fungal strain after a New York City man in his 30s developed a sexually transmitted form of ringworm. Ringworm. I didn't even know that there was a sexually transmitted version of this. Nonetheless, the cock rubbing is not going to stop because it is Pride Month. We shall see an explosion in it this month because they say it's highly contagious and it spreads really fast. So we shall see. Now, the problem with ringworm is, I remember ringworm, you could pick it up anywhere. So if you live in New York City, don't sit on any toilets. If you have to go to the restroom, piss on the walls. Don't sit down, ladies, because undoubtedly some guy pretending to be a woman is going to go into the women's bathroom, rub his fucking cock all over the seat, and then you're going to get ringworm on your ass. Anyway, healthcare providers should be aware that trichophaedon, whatever, mentographites, is the latest in a group of several skin infections to have now reached the United States. A lot of these skin infections are being spread by who? The Cock Rubbing Society. Oh, God. And you know the craziness about it is, guys, is that these guys are spreading this shit and no one's calling them out. Like, no one. They're just like, yo, you guys and your fucking shit. Listen. Even in my heydays, if there was something like this going around with heterosexual people, I'd have been like, yo, I'm not banging anything. I'm keeping my dick in my pants. But when I heard a gay guy say, what do you want us to do? Just not have sex? Yes, that is exactly what we want you guys to do. Stop the bullshit. Now, I'm not worried about it because I'm not having sex with men. So I'm not worried about it. I just find it interesting that this disease passes around, or diseases are growing because of them, and they are not taking responsibility. They're not taking accountability. They're pushing it off on, oh, what are we supposed to do? Not have sex? Yes. Yes. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Explorer SoCal. I have a photography channel, but it's more of me sharing my photography work and putting up shorts. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to do videos unless it requests a video. I'm not doing a video. But it's called the Angry Lensman Media on YouTube. I will definitely start doing some tips and tricks on that as well, but they'll be shorts. They won't be videos. You know, they'll be like 1 minute long kind of deal. But I was thinking about doing tips and tricks, and now that you mention it, I definitely will. Homobotomy. Yes, they do need a homobotomy. Nice one. I just listen. It's not so much that they're catching it and spreading it amongst each other. It's the fact, guys, that when they catch it, they sit there and go, "But what's going on? How come it's just ours? Why are we being marginalized?" You're not being marginalized, dickhead. You're not. You're being irresponsible. And if you were responsible, if you took accountability, if you took blame, you could stop half of the problems in your community, but you don't want to. Instead, you want to go around rubbing dicks on each other's faces and then wondering why this ringworm is going around. Whatever, man. Let's just get through this bullshit. So they also have monkeypox, and there's another one that's spreading around as well that I read about a couple weeks ago, and they were worried about that because of Pride. But I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I love how they call it these studies now. Kaplan co-authored a case study published Wednesday about an unidentified New York man who became infected with TM7 with a rash appearing on his penis, buttocks, and limbs. What was he rolling around in this shit? Anyway, the case of the TM7 has been on a rise in Europe because of gay men, especially with men who have sex with men. It's called gay men. Again, guys, the terminologies that they try to change, no longer just saying gay men. They're like men who have sex with men. Men who have sex with men are gay. Men who have sex, whatever. In the new case study, the man in the new case study had visited England, Greece, and California. He reported having sex with men during his travels, none whom disclosed similar skin issues. I mean, I guess you would see that on them if they were naked. But then again, these guys say hello by sticking their dicks into one another, right? They're like, hey, Kevin, hey, Keith, and then they pull each other's pants down and they have sex. That's how they say hello in that community. Anyway, since patients are often reluctant to discuss genital problems, physicians need to directly ask about rashes around the groin and buttocks, especially to those who are sexually active. This is just ridiculous how we are catering to these people, and instead of just calling it out what it is, we're coming up with new terminology. Men who have sex with men. They're gay. Anyway, since patients are often... Sorry. Now, Zampella noted that infection caused by TM7 seemed to respond to standard antifungal therapy such as medication known as Lamisil. But they take that for a month and it clears up. Lamisil. Am I saying that right? Anyway, they also may be confused with lesions caused by eczema, which may delay treatment. If you have eczema, that's an entirely different ball game. What kind of eczema are you getting confused with? Okay, I think I know what they're saying. If they think they have eczema, instead of looking to get it checked out to make sure they don't have the TM7, they're confusing it with all right, maybe that, whatever, dude. I know what eczema looks like. A different itchy and contagious skin infection that causes rashes similar to is proving to be a greater challenge for dermatologists. A different itchy and contagious skin infection cause rash similar to TM7. This one is called, oh my God, sorry. This one's called Triphyton indeniae, whatever, which is spread in India and was first confirmed in the U.S. last year. I think that's the one we're talking about. This is the other skin sexually transmitted disease. Again, being spread by who? The homos. So they analyzed the data from 11 men and women treated for the indotinea, whatever, and NYC hospitals between May 22nd and May 23rd. Now, the women who are getting it, guys, the women who are getting it are women who sleep around with bisexual men, aka gay men. Listen, I'm going to put the name of this shit in the chat. You guys fucking figure this out. Because I guess instead of break it, this is the name of the second one that's started last year that's infecting. Now, a lot of women who sleep with gay men or bisexual men, which aka gay men, they're also getting these problems as well. They're getting these so Lamisil is, that's why I was like, that looks familiar, but I'm like, they're using this for that? You're killing me, Smokes. But yeah, like, whatever, man. I don't want to read this too much longer because this is starting to fucking just annoy me. That they're not taking accountability. They're not taking responsibility. They're going, why is this happening to us? Well, you fucking animal. If you keep saying hello by sucking dick, this is what it looks like. When you start having rash on your face because, you know, instead of like using a condom, you're just like, because that was the other thing the guy said. The gay guy said last year or the year before last when the monkeypox was horrendous. He said, oh, we don't use condoms. That's just how our community are. Now, I get it. I'm not a big condom user. At least I wasn't. especially when I was younger. I was fucked at. And listen, I threw my dick on the table numerous times, and I got lucky. But with that being said, when you are in a highly contagious outbreak of anything in your community, you should be thinking condom. But they make an excuse for it too, guys. They're like, well, we just don't wear it. Like, if there's a disease going around, I'm wearing a condom. If there isn't, I might take my chances. Like I said, I played craps with my dick numerous times. You know, waiting for the snake eyes, but it never happened. I got lucky. And now I'm 46. I'm like, I'm not looking to get anything now, right? So, this community will continue to spread diseases, and no one. And listen, ladies, if you wake up with ringworm on your face or your vagina, your man is gay. That's all I'm gonna say. That, or he was banging a chick who was banging a dude. But let's go with the gay card first. Throw up the gay card at him, like, gay, you know, and then see what happens from there. We'll see how he explains his way out of that situation. But yeah, that's complete bullshit. So, guys, on a more worse note, if we can get any fucking worse than this, China conducted an animal test with Ebola-like virus that kills within 3 days. Now, I know that they were looking to do the study. They actually accomplished it. Chinese scientists have developed a virus in a lab that mimics an Ebola infection, wiping out a whole group of hamsters after giving them ulcers in their eyes. Researchers at something medical university in China genetically engineered a less threatening virus, vesicular stomatitis, known to infect cattle, to carry the protein from an Ebola virus, establishing that this then causes a lethal infection in hamsters. A newly developed virus model provided accessible and convenient way of researching the deadly Ebola virus. So they keep saying, guys, that these studies that they're doing is a way for them to do more research on the virus, to, for example, make it spreadable, right? Making it more contagious. The bird flu? Back in 2011 and 13, between those years, they were making a more contagious bird flu. That was here in the United States. Now we're seeing the outbreak. China's working on a more infectious Ebola virus, or an Ebola-like virus. This is going to be released in the next couple of years. But anyway, the Ebola virus, EBOV, I can't with these fucking acronyms, caused severe inflammation and tissue damage throughout the body, affecting the natural blood clotting mechanism, leading internal bleeding and ultimately death, with blood leaking from small vessels. The virus spreads via direct contact with bodily fluids. This is undoubtedly going to wipe out the gay community. Undoubtedly. If this virus made it into the world and made it into any population, it would wipe out the gays in a heartbeat. Because, like they said, we don't know how to stop having sex. This is what we do. So be it. So fucking be it. Anyway, guys, the development of the countermeasures against the EBOV have been hindered by the lack of ideal animal models, as EBOV requires handling of biosafety level 4. Now, interestingly enough, guys, for some reason or another, they've been downgrading the biosafety levels when dealing with diseases like this, which I understand why they're doing it, because they want an outbreak. They want to go, oh, we'll be careful. We'll take it to a BSL 3. I know it's a step below a 4, but we'll be careful. We promise. Scouts honor, right? And then shit gets out into the world and 80,000 people die. So anyway, the model enabled rapid preclinical evaluations of medical countermeasure against EBOV under the fucking shit, man. These fucking people. Biosafety level 2. God, why? They didn't even go to a 3. They went right to a 2. Anyway, animal succumbed at 2 to 3s post-infection, researchers noted. Adding an arm ticket against Ebola could validate using this model. So they already have an arm ticket for this before they created the virus. Very good. And guys, they are telling us out in the open. Oh, so in fact, remember when I was talking about codes in newspapers? And so when they put things in newspaper and things for us to read, the best way for them to do it is to get out to those clandestine dudes who are not at meetings, not on any cell phone, but they're looking at their newspaper and going, all right. And then they communicate through way of media. So during World War II, the Brits were doing that with the Nazis. Not with the Nazis, but against the Nazis. And they were reaching out to different groups of people through way of newspaper. That's why the Nazi regime figured it out and they stopped any kind of intel coming in. It is why Russia does it with their media as well. Like, they lock out their media. You can only have state-run media. You can't have any other source of media. Anyway, so the Nazis, the Brits were doing it, and when the Brits did it, they fucked up and they released a wrong code letting everybody know what they were doing. This kind of shit, guys, that is in the media when they're telling us the step-by-steps on what they're doing with viruses like this is because somebody else way above our pay grade is reading this and going, all right, they're getting close to releasing this. We need to be ready. So I find this interesting that I just so happened to read that about the British doing it during World War II, and I'm like, they're still doing it to this day. I think they perfected it, because why else, guys, would they be so forthcoming with what's going on? Everything we're reading is out in the open now. They're not hiding a thing. They're telling us exactly how this post-infection is going to work and how they have an arm ticket specifically for this ailment, or rather this virus. The specific one's already out. Scientists are hopeful that new models could play a role in future studies of eye disorders caused by the Ebola virus. Who the fuck cares about eye disorders? Like, whatever, man. All right, last article. All right, this article, I'm gonna blend the article, so forgive me when I go there next week. Next Wednesday, I'll read what I was supposed to read this week, but I am running a little late, or over rather. Sorry. South Korea fires warning shot as North Korean soldiers briefly cross the border. South Korea's military says its troops fired warning shots when North Korean soldiers briefly crossed the DMZ, right, line between the two countries on Sunday. More than 10 North Korean soldiers apparently violated land border by mistake. This tells you guys something else is going on. South Korea knows, I know, the Negro in New York, you guys know, watching this Negro in New York, that there's no way 10 North Korean soldiers accidentally crossed the border or attempted to cross the border. Something else is going on here. The Joint Chiefs of Staff on Tuesday that the incident occurred shortly past noon on Sunday. It added that the North Korean soldiers immediately returned to their territory after the South Korean military issued warning broadcasts and fired warning shots. Sources close to the South Korean military said the North Korean soldiers were carrying pickaxe and other tools. Again, weird. The sources noted that they appeared to have been engaged in some kind of activity in the DMZ zone, and they said that the soldiers apparently breached the line by accident. Get the fuck out of here. The JCS told reporters that the site is a wooded area and that signs indicated that the military demarcation line is located were not clearly visible. Again, bullshit. This said the military believes that the North Korean soldiers did not intentionally cross the borders. Guys, they grew up around this shit. Military or not, we all know where the border is in this country. So when we go to the U.S. border, we know, all right, that's Mexico. We know where it is. So you are guarding this DMZ forever. You know where it is. You know where that line is. Now all of a sudden they were accidentally confused. Something about this story doesn't make sense. That's all I'm going to say. And they're treating us like we're stupid. So be it. We're stupid. Now, another story I want to touch on real quick. I'm going to combine the two because I do want to talk about this. Excess deaths since the pandemic need to be thoroughly investigated. The Mr. 19 could have contributed to excess passing away in the United States and other Western countries in the 3 years since the event took hold, according to a new study that argues that the world leaders and policymakers need to thoroughly investigate the aftermath of the contagion. Analyzing mortality data from 47 Western countries, scientists from the Netherlands found that excess mortality has remained high since 2020, despite the widespread rollout of the Mr. 19 arm ticket and various containment measures. Now, again, mixing articles. Dutch scientists say at least 35 million people have passed away due to the Mr. 19 arm ticket. Dutch scientists, plural, have warned that at least 35 million people have passed away as a direct result of the experimental Mr. 19 arm ticket. According to an official news study published by the BMJ Health, Dutch scientists analyzed data from 47 Western countries and found the excess passing away skyrocketed shortly after the arm ticket rolled out in 2020. Bing fucking O. How, guys, were we seeing the signs of this? All of us on here, we saw the signs. We watched this increase, and now they're like, shit, the stupid Negroes in Manhattan was right. The lunatic raving in Tennessee on a live stream was right. And I don't know who that lunatic was, making it up. A lot of us who sat here and watched the news report this, we were right. Not that we were right, but we were right because doctors told us. Doctors like Sherry Tenpenny Cook told us this would happen. And now we're seeing it. So anyway, that being said, guys, these articles are pretty interesting. I'm going to do more of a deep dive on them in the video. I'll probably release that video later this week. But yes, guys, there's definitely a connection. We've been saying there's a connection. You know why we've been saying a connection? Because the oddity of people not waking up, or in fact, people passing out left and right, doesn't take a rocket scientist, it doesn't take a lab coat, and doesn't take a lab to figure this shit out. A lot of people, again, guys, seem to think that we are stupid, but in fact, we are. The large majority of us are stupid. But then there's some of us that are not, and those are the ones that they're going to try to silence in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, guys, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down on your way out. I can care less. It just helps with the algorithm when you mix it up a little bit. Yes, guys, I will be talking about this a little later tonight in depth on the Angry Truth channel. I'll read the full articles later on the Angry Truth channel in regards to this, because this is very important. Sherry Tenpenny. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Tenpenny Cook. It's Sherry Tenpenny. Sorry. I know why I'm saying Tenpenny Cook. So anyway, Sherry Tenpenny. She's the one that alarmed a lot of. She alerted a lot of people to this. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. I will see you guys later.